Big news, by the way. I've actually had somebody join my team in EXP, who's Welcome back to week 13. It's Arahan, the Real Estate Nerd, and this week I'm going to discuss with you what happened in the week that just went by. As some of you know who've been watching and following along the journey, the week 12 was a pretty horrendous week. My pet was still in hospital for 5 days later because of post-surgery complications and things like that. Good news is she's better. She's back home with us now, which is great. So she's recovering well. My wife's doing okay. There was no immediate damage aside from the car accident. The damage from the car accident was actually lesser as well, which is great. The good thing is, things that were going to be as expensive initially ended up being a lot cheaper. Last week has pretty much gone working on this project. Just a general labor hire, bringing some extra cash into the pocket. It helps balance things out, and I'm not going to complain because I have had no income for about 12-13 weeks. Marketing for the properties and the blocks are finally ready to roll out. So that rolls out this week. I've been doing a lot more by the time I finish up with the project that I took on as an emergency last week. My cash flow from other sales and things are going to come in next week as well. So it's going to give me a lot more breathing room. And I can then start concentrating 100% on real estate and focus on my client acquisition. Big news, by the way. I've actually had somebody join my team in EXP who's a buyer's agent. Now, a buyer's agent is somebody who represents the buyers in the transaction. So just like a seller has a house to sell, a buyer's agent's role is to work with clients to help find a house that is suitable for their needs. Now, when do people use buyer's agents? They typically use them, when there's a shortage of time, when they can't find the right place, get access to off-market properties, they need somebody to negotiate on their behalf, somebody to go to auction, somebody who to do property inspections when they're living interstate. Buyer's agents are not really a thing in Australia, but they are becoming something. They are growing in number. I believe a buyer's agent's role is multi-dynamic. It's not just investing, but also property acquisition. That's where the buyer's agents come in. In Australia, it's a relatively new concept, just in the last few years. They've been around, but not as many and nowhere near as popular as they're starting to gain the traction. Back to my previous point, I've partnered with a buyer's agent within my team. So I'm actually going to be working closely with him. I might even go into the buyer's agency space with him and start exploring that avenue of things. Because I worked as a selling agent for a while, and while it's very profitable, buying agents, there's just not as much competition. And if I can focus a lot of my energies on there as well, fantastic, I can make something happen there too. I feel like my skill set and knowledge is it's very handy for a buyer's agent's perspective, because I've done a lot of property acquisition, I've helped a lot of people purchase properties, I've helped a lot of people with their investment portfolios as well, and planning how to build an investment portfolio. Using the knowledge that I've got to scale the amount of properties that we had, to then help other people do the same. I'm looking forward to partnering up with him as the Gold Coast property buyers and welcoming him into my team, because I think we're going to have a great approach together. Going forward, I'm also going to be getting my house and land packages rolled out over the next few weeks. So if you're looking for great rental returns especially, so I've got packages that are ready within 6-month guaranteed build times with rent back options as well. We've got 5% rental yields on these properties as well, so that's always fantastic. This is not a plug for that. I'm just basically talking about what's happened over last week. So last week I've literally just been doing the landscaping project, which I committed to. They've helped, they've given me immediate payment for my work and my services that I've rendered, which is great. So it helped out with the cash flow issues. Now the cash flow issues are sorted, the marketing is sorted. Now it's just full steam ahead. Now it's just client acquisition, and that's all I'm going to focus on for the next 6 to 12 months. Is just building that pipeline and getting that business flowing. Somebody who's run a business before, my business was established in Adelaide. I had a good steady cash flow there. But since moving, it's non-existent at the moment. I need to make sure that my baselines are being met. Then it allows me to focus better on everything else I need to do. So even if I take 2 days out of my week to make sure I've got a job to pay for my bills, fantastic. That's a great thing. Now, don't let anybody ever tell you need to go all in on business, because unless you have no other responsibilities. If you're a single person and you have no other responsibilities, by all means go. You can live a very cheap life in a very easy way. You can really make a lot of sacrifices that I can't. I'm not in the position where I can, make my family homeless. I can't go live off of 2-minute noodles for months on end, which I could if I was just me. But I have a family to support. But if you're not in that position, by all means, go just balls to walls, focus on the one thing and only one thing. I'm not in the position to do that, so I'm going to make sure that my baselines are met, my family's taken care of, while I can focus on building up my business as well. Now, if I concentrate 2 days a week on something else, and then the remaining 5 days out of the 7, I'm working solely on my business, which is real estate. And my goal is to build up a passive rent portfolio, get sales going, get some buying going, and provide a full-blown real estate service to all my clients. Now, I've partnered up with a lot of trades as well, so if you're looking for trades, I will be able to point you in the right direction to wherever you need to go. I have actually made a lot of connections over the last 10 to 12 weeks, establishing my referral partners, because I believe that comes in handy, especially when you're selling property. So if I'm representing a client, they need a handyman, they need a carpenter, they need an electrician, a plumber, whatever somebody might need to get fixed before we sell the house, or whatever a buyer might need, or once they buy a house, they can just call me and I will refer somebody on to them who I can vouch for and who I can work in partnership with, because reputation is everything. And if I recommend somebody, my recommendation of that person is a reflection on me. So if that person doesn't live up to my expectations, it's going to damage my reputation, and I'd rather not have that. So I'm going to be working with people who I can rely upon, work closely with, who are going to treat people the same way I do, with equity and fairness, and be honest with everything they do. The same way when they refer me in, I will 100% make sure that their clients are looked after as well, because I am a reflection of them. So week 13 was just more of a consolidation week, getting everything back in order and starting to launch everything out this week. I don't know if there's going to be many more exciting updates every single week. We'll see. On a personal note, not much else happening. We've sorted a lot of things out. So mentally, I'm feeling great. Clarity is still there. Despite the week that was in week 12, I'm still positive and optimistic, and it's what helps me get through tough times. I don't need to be bogged down by accidents. As long as everybody was happy and healthy, things could have been worse. Yeah, just keep a positive attitude and keep charging forward. That's week 13 for you guys. I will see you again for week 14, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.